Do do do. Yeah. I just setting. Yeah. Yeah. It's got like a turbo boost option, so I just pick that up. So 4. Yep. Yes. Well, yeah, I think it'll go higher than that, but I don't really want to push it too much. Uh, 3.8. Video. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey now, hey now, hey now. That's what I got, you know?
Okay, so okay. So okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, I don't want that to be the... That's so weird how that changes. Default. Desktop audio. Oh, okay, cool. I don't need two mics. What the fuck's wrong with me? I got two mics going right now. That's stupid. Default, cancel. Can we just turn this shit off? Properties. Can I just delete it? How do I... Do 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 do. There we go. So we got game sound. I didn't realize that I had game sound. Okay, my mic just wasn't working the whole time. I actually want to like unhide all. How do I go into settings? Do I just go into audio? And then...
Are you serious? Second game in a row. Bullshit.
Is it under output? Is it under audio? Advanced? Oh, you know, something else that I didn't realize is I have my OBS set to process priorities above average. If I change that, that's to drop my CPU usage as well, I think, a little bit. Yep. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's just priority tools. Advanced audio properties. Why the fuck I want to get rid of it though? I don't want the third mic. Is it because I have a third mic that they're giving me a third mic? I like the local file though. That's pretty sweet. Hide. Unhide all.
It's the second competitive game I'm going into. We have to leave it within the first 10 seconds. So it cancels the game.
Not cool, man. Sorry if I'm doing that in your ear too. I've got game mic right here. It's giving me a third mic and I can't remember how the fuck to get rid of it. Oh, right here. Disabled. Flag. Cool. So that's one less mic we have to worry about. All right. Maybe that'll kill my CPU usage too. I bet if I turn off the lights in the basement, my CPU usage will go down. Yo, if my cat doesn't breathe as hard, maybe my CPU usage will go down. Do you hear me, bro?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm feeling right now, right? Maybe if I reroute some of the power from my router to my modem and then turn off my PlayStation 4, maybe I'll get better CPU usage. I'm literally nickel and diming over here, hella hard. But dude, it's fun just to see. I don't know. I like that. Like 1%, 2%, 5% difference. 5% difference is huge. 10% is huge. Huge. I mean, imagine 5% frame rate. You're getting 50. You know, all of a sudden you're getting 52 and a half. Shit, you get up to 10, you're getting 50, you're getting 55. You're like, damn, feels better now. I mean, it's crazy. Shit, you go from 55, you add a 10% on that, you're getting, you're getting 62. It's huge, man. It's huge. Or you're getting 60.5 or whatever. Ooh. All right, and then I got an animated alert box. I got a new overlay thing, which, yeah, that's definitely doing it. Try it again. Oh, wait. Somebody wanted to play. Blaze wanted to do. Sorry, Blaze. We'll play here in a minute. Actually, I'm gonna go to school early, I think. I'm gonna go see if I can talk to my teacher before class or practice some SQL. I don't know. I got a test coming up. And I don't like SQL, but it's probably because I don't spend a lot of time doing it. I spend more time trying to figure out discrete mathematics solutions. You go to college, Jason, Justin, Jared. Just call him Beer Me.
Steve.
Ryan. It's Ryan, isn't it? I said it right the first time. No, maybe the last time. Anyways, did you go to school? No? You thinking about it? Have you thought about it? Did you know?
I went.
Yeah?
And I majored in music.
Yeah?
And I just never ended up finishing. I ended up going on tour for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me about that. That's cool. That's cool. And so you're no longer doing that anymore. And then school. How far did you get in school? Did you get your associates or no?
I went for probably a good 3.5, 4 years.
So you almost finished.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back and finish?
Just don't have the time anymore.
Well, what if I told you you'd have to take out student loans and shit like that, but like the Pell Grant right now covers all of your school expenses. Not all of them, but like let's say the state of Illinois, they have they offer the Pell Grant, which covers up to $5,000, $6,000 of your yearly tuition. Each semester is about $5,000 total in classes if you're taking a full load. But they also have something called the MAP Grant. So if you apply for it early enough every year, you get an additional $2,200, I think, per semester. So that basically covers all of your schooling costs. So all you have to do is either work a part-time job and pay rent, and then, or you can take out student loans, work a part-time job, and pay rent, or you don't have to work at all. You could just take out student loans. You I take out $5,000 every semester. You know, it's $6,500 every semester. It's like $57.50. So it's like $12,000 a year, but that covers my half of my living expenses. You know what I mean? And if you have somebody to live with, it's a lot cheaper than if you're trying to live on your own. And since you're engaged, you know, it's just something to consider. If you could go back, transfer your credits, do whatever you do. I don't know. I tell everybody that.
The only thing is, it's just been 10 years. Like.
So what? What if you can transfer some credits? You know, I mean, I'm just saying, it's up to you. Education's huge. I'm just glad that I'm gonna actually make money when I graduate instead of like I'm used to making like minimum wage and stuff. I've worked like manufacturing, temp agencies. You know, like for a long time. I mean, I worked at Sam's Club for a little bit. You know, I've worked some retail. I've done customer service. I did, what is it? I worked at Denny's. You know, I've been like a waiter.
Nice.
I've tried a lot of stuff, man. And I realized, you know what? I'd rather sit down at a desk, work out some algorithms, try and, you know, implement whatever protocol. Like I like cryptography, cryptology. I like encryption. I like the idea of it, and I figured, you know, I'll just go back to school for security, maybe, you know, with a minor in systems, business systems, or something like that, and then, you know, take it and get a degree making, you know, at least $20 an hour starting out. You know, that like my average starting pay for my, I think it's supposed to be like $60K a year or something like that. So whatever job I go into, you know how much that is an hour? That's $30 an hour.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And that's starting out. You know, it's like shit. And I can work in an office. I mean, and I'm older than some of the kids that are coming out of college, but that just means that my degree that I got when I was older than these kids who were in the college is probably more. You know, I spend more time studying, I think. I spend more time actually trying to figure out the answers and the solutions than just looking for the answers. You know, some of these kids just Google everything. It's online. Oh, I'll just Google all of these answers. I don't actually have to read the textbook or study. You know, and I feel like some of these kids are out here drinking their way through college. They're kegging it up, you know, trying to get grades. And me, I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to read this shit. I'm going to learn something about networking and computer science and, you know, Java or Python or, you know, the security, you know, aspect of it, the different protocols. Or, I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that I found out about computers that I enjoy. You know, I mean, I use a computer all day. If it wasn't for streaming, I probably wouldn't have built the computer. If it wasn't for me building the computer, I wouldn't have half of an idea of what different types of hardwares or softwares are out there, you know, or sockets or, you know, ports, or what RAM really does, or, you know, on some level. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like going back to school is probably, I mean, I'm going to be 31 when I graduate. I'm actually extending my school. I was supposed to I'm done with my degree. I have all of my credits finished. All I have to do is an internship, and they say either you do an internship or you just have to take 6 credits to your field. So I could take 2 more classes and be done, but I'm switching my degree to cybersecurity. And so I'm going to take those internship course classes, unless I can find an internship for the summer. But I can do that, or, you know, I'm gonna take those courses, or I find an internship, or I'm gonna take those courses and then the 3 additional courses it is to finish with the cybersecurity degree. Just because it's a newer version of the degree that I was going to get. It was IT systems, assurance and securities. But cybersecurity is like the newer version of that with more class specification. Just 3 more classes essentially, you know. But I mean, it's new. It just came out last semester, so. Last semester was the first semester that they gave it out. They were giving out degrees in that field.
Nice.
Yep. I don't know. It's nice. I've literally just gone to school and lived off student loans. It sucks because I'm gonna have student loan debt, but I mean, if you know how to get in and figure shit out, and, you know, set up a computer system and then install the security protocols on it, whether it's the router or just inside of your SSL socket, your secure socket layer information. You know, you just basically want to update, you know, the antivirus security, make sure everything that you have on there is intact and is in sync with your network. You know, you don't want anything that's going to be, you know, under protected, because then it could become a potential liability. And I mean, most of it's just going around and installing software on hardware, you know. Which is crazy, because one of the guys that I talked to at the career fair is like, do you want to work on the software side or the hardware side? And I'm just like, well, I do either or. Well, he's like, you need to know the answer to this. And I was like, well, you know, I mean, I'm going to school for the, you know, which the security-based knowledge that is required for people to work with hardware or software. So it actually doesn't matter, is what I said. And he's like, no, but you need to know which one you want to work in. It matters. And I was like, well, which side do you work on? He's like, I work with the software side. And I'm like, well, I could do software side. You know, but I didn't really know what the hell he meant by software side, because like most of the hardware has to have software installed on it. So it's like, I'm not programming here. I'm not creating software. I'm not creating the antivirus software. I'm just installing, updating, you know, making sure the protocols are synced. And that's it. You know, as far as I know. But I mean, like, I'm thinking if it's hardware side, I'm thinking like routers, networking, making sure that the hardware that transmits the data throughout your network is synced with like your routers, where you actually have to program the hardware. You don't have to program it, you just have to set it up. There's usually software already involved on it, so it's not like I'm gonna have to install the software on my router. You know, I just have to pick which Cisco router I'm using and figure out which, you know, protocols that we're going to use for network transmission. You know, we set like the MTU. I don't know, but I'm not doing networking, so I wouldn't even have to do any of that shit. I just have to essentially go in and just make sure they're using the most up-to-date protocols for it. You know, are we using make sure HTTPS is set up, and, you know, what's the secure socket layers and which sockets we have available. Are we, you know, but most of that I wouldn't even have to initially do. So I don't understand. This dude fucking tripped me, dude. He tripped me and caught me like, what the fuck do you mean hardware, software? Like, you know, I just want to work with the software. I want to be able to sit back and monitor any sort of alerts. I mean, some of the software systems they do have, like, you know, kind of like how you remote access into NVIDIA GeForce or whatever. Well, you can remote access into from home the security system that basically it's just like you can sit there and you can watch. Have you ever seen like Wireshark? Do you know what Wireshark is? Wireshark, it's something you use. You can download on your computer and you can use it to track the packets that are coming in and out of your network. that are going to be sent and coming in around you, and you can get not even just your network, the traffic going on around your entire network. So any Wi-Fi connection, you can kind of like see packets. It's packet tracing software, and you can use that. You can see what level of security they have on some of these, if it's encrypted, if it's not encrypted. You can look at the different protocols and just kind of analyze the information coming in and out. Well, they have that type of software for security software, and so you install that. You allow certain information to be shared and then captured, and then you basically can see all the people that are, like, anybody that logs on, it'll store that data, and so you can view that. So you can see who's accessing the network from where, and if they're accessing it, whose password they're using. You know, is it their password? You know, is it are they using biometrics? Are they using, you know, what kind of encryption's being used, you know, if they're logging in, from where they're logging in, from, you know, their what level of security access they have to that, you know, to that network. And I mean, I think that shit's kind of cool, looking at it from like a specific user just trying to access, you know, how you log in into your computer. You know, I mean, Windows comes with that software, that security software, to protect you and allow you to, you know, makes it harder for other people to get in. So if somebody just runs off with your computer, they're not just going to be able to access it. You know, even if they get into the BIOS, like, how the hell are they they're legit going to have to, like, reinstall some shit. But I don't even know if you can do that from I don't know how to do that from the BIOS. I think I know how to do that from the BIOS. I think there's a way to it, but you'd also have to have Windows to, like, reinstall, and then you might even need the password, essentially. Like, I don't know how you do that before. I should look that up, because that's important. That's something I can know. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm ignoring people. I got Enraged Giggle in here leaving comments. Yo, she's like, you have to qualify for Pell Grant. Well, I mean, you qualify if you're an adult over the age of 25. And you never have any drug charges or anything like that. Like, I've never been convicted of a drug charge, so I qualify. And I'm past, like, the age of 25. Tape says $12K for school. Damn, that must be nice. Most colleges I've applied to want me to pay. No. No. Okay, so that's just living expenses. My Pell Grant and my MAP Grant, they cover all of the classes that I take. And I'm just taking fall and spring. Well, it was really cool, because when I was going to community college, dude, I was getting excess money that they were giving me. They were like, here, your MAP grant's $1,200 and your Pell Grant's $2,500. Your classes cost $4,000, so you have $700. Here you go, or whatever, you know, or something like that. So it was cool. I felt like I was getting paid to go to school and get an education, but realistically, it just helped me subsidize books and stuff like that.
I did a lot of that when I was in college. I had Pell.
Yep, Pell Grant. Everybody uses it. I mean, if you qualify for it, use it. Why not, right? But then the MAP Grant's something you have to apply for it at the beginning of the year. Every year, and if you apply early enough, it's first come first serve, and you know, you get, I don't know, I've never not got it. I always apply within like 5 days of the enrollment for FAFSA or whatever. You fill out your FAFSA and then you get it. Boom. Shit, if it's like, I remember one semester they were like, oh, this is implemented and it looks like you did qualify. They had leftover amounts, so then all out of nowhere I just got a check, and I was like, oh, cool. You know, it was like extra money for, you know, just receiving an education. You know, the government wants people to go out there and get your education. And I mean, if anything, it's like, I can't imagine being 31 without having a degree or at least a job that pays more than $10 an hour. You know, if I made $10 an hour, I'd probably be okay. $20,000 a year with a single, that would be tough. But, you know, with it's crazy. You know, you go out there, you meet somebody, you find somebody, and, you know, you spend time with them, you get to know them, you trust them, and you say, okay, let's do something. And then all of a sudden your living costs kind of essentially get cut in half, because you start to share living places. You know what I mean? So it's like your living expenses. So it actually puts more money in your pocket to grow and expand. But, you know, how much money are you making? At what point? What's your 5-year plan? You know, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, and 5 years ago, I was thinking I'd be graduated by now, and I'm supposed to be, but I didn't get an internship, and now I'm extending my education in hopes that it'll give me a leg up on other people who don't have a cybersecurity degree, you know, which could maybe get me a better, more high-paying job. Take it for what it is. If I could start off making $80,000 a year, bro, oh my God, you know how much that is? It's $40 an hour. That's a lot of money. I wouldn't even know what to do with that. For me, that's like 4 weeks worth of working at $10 an hour. You know what I mean? That's the most I've ever made at a job was what? Well, I worked for, God, what did they pay me? Was it $10 an hour working for Evergreen FS? And I was working 12-hour days, 7 days a week. I was working 84 hours a week, and they were giving me overtime, and on Sundays we got double time. So if I got double on overtime, it was crazy. I was making really good money, but I never had time for anything. I basically eat, sleep, work 7 days a week. I did that for like 3 months. It's crazy. I mean, shit, what is that? $10 an hour times 84, that's $840 times the extra time and a half for the other 32, or no, for 36, is it? No, for 30, was it 32? 44 time and a half. So you get the times half on the 44. I don't know. It was something like $5,000 a month though. I was very chill with that. 15 grand in 3 months. You're like, wow, that's huge dough, bro. That's what I made at Subway last year, and I did it in 3 months, or whatever. He's like holding a master. He's like, that's crazy. Holding a master's degree for accounting. Honestly, accounting's not a bad degree just because it's one of those. It never changes. The field never changes. Like they don't really implement new accounting methods. They actually implement more software. And I'd be installing the security on the computers that run that software for the accounting firm, if they get big enough, if they care to monitor that. But I mean, let's be real. Like if it's like, it just depends on what you want to do and what field and how wanted is it. But cybersecurity it's growing. It's definitely growing. It's not worse than what it used to be. Alright, so I just realized I'm still running Ultra. Yeah, the stream still looks like shit. Let's change that. Change that to super fast. Click apply. See if that changes. Yeah, I think there's a big difference from super fast and... Let me just see. I'm just going to look side to side. I can see the pixelation during the movement, absolutely. How does she look though? Is she bad? Is she good? Is she good? Is she bad? Got this green pulse. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a gun that I wanted? Oh, he pumped me good. This is using 26, 27, 28. I bet if I turn this shit down to like 48 like before, I feel like I'm basically running at Streamlabs OBS speed was when I was running it at 48 frames per second. Unlike by whatever the fuck it was. Whoa, 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 whoa. Any sniper bullet would take me out right now. God, what is with the lag in this game though? There's moments where I'm like, yay, and then I'm like, but wait, I literally just hit that, and then I went up to hit it again, and then it disappeared just now. Alright, so I'm gonna push over there and check this kid. He's on top of the fucking mountain. Did you just chuck a grenade? Fuck that. I thought it was Ninja for a second. I'm like, oh, dude, he pulsed in. And now I'm like completely fucking dead. Any bullet. Any fucking bullet. Not really. SMG. Yeah, it's still pretty fucking good. Even if that gets up to 50, we're not breaking. And I got Google Chrome running. Like, yeah, this shit's good. Yo, that pulse made me worried. Honestly, I thought I was going to take the kid out of the air. But, like, somehow. I'm weak. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I'm definitely okay with this. I got a chug jug. That was good. That was good. He shot his wall out. See, that's me, though. That kid's as bad as I am. Oh, is that somebody over there, too? Yeah, that's a person. I like how I didn't hit him at all. My reticle was right on him. Nothing. See that shit? Alright, let me see. This is very...
I'm just setting up a custom Fortnite overlay now.
You got a custom Fortnite overlay?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Just altering all the shit so it actually has my name on it.
What, did he fucking leave? Oh ho. This kid had a chug jug and everything else that I wanted. Nah, I didn't want that. I think this kid is pretty pissed. Zone's pretty far away. Two.
It was good. Yeah.
That's one down, baby. Y'all got a remote controlled rockets? Like, suck it. gonna try and win this. I got 8 kills. And remote rockets. Let's go. Crazy B says, yo, what's up, Goody? What's up, man? What's up, Cat? What you making sounds for?
Dude, this is
Oh, I see you, bitch. Oh, you better build. You better fucking build, because my rockets are coming for you, homo. Not homo. What am I calling him? Oh, you can do that? I didn't know you could do that. Oh, he keeps getting them, bro. Nice. Voila. Yeah, he tried to shotgun it. Like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but GG's.
Hey.
What up? I won. Those homing rockets are awesome. I wonder if he was out of like AR ammo or what, but yeah, we'll take it. 12 kills, that's pretty good for the day record. For the day record. And now check this out. I'm going to text. Go to Haas. High kill, click that. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the filters here, so I go with like daily games. Daily kills. And go with all-time high kills. All-time high. Daily high. Wins. Daily wins. And then we can select color. And then we can go to gradient. Gradient direction. It's probably 100. Okay. Select color. Make that shit pink. Right? Make that shit pink. Make, oh, it's background color. We don't want background color. Cancel that. We want gradient color. Make that shit pink. There we go. And then background opacity. Kinda. Alignment left. Now let's do centered. All-time high kills, daily high kills.
Yo.
There we go, perfect. All right, so click OK on that. Let me drag and drop that shit right there. I don't know if I like the color in that. Properties. Can make this shit scroll too. Oh yeah, that's right, I was gonna do that. Select color. All right, and then whatever. Then we hit it with an outline. Line color. No, I don't like that. Okay, yeah, that looks better. We can make that shit bigger. property is going here. We'll change that. We'll make that. We'll play it.
Man.
25 all time. 15 daily high kills. 12 daily wins. 1. Hit that shit. Bah. Ba 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 ba. And then I make this shit scroll filters. Yeah, that's some cool stuff you can do with just text in general.
I got starting soon page up now. I got a whole Fortnite theme going on. Pretty sick.
Dope. Dope. What the fuck? Property. It's like perfect.
What?
My rotating scorekeeper.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a high opacity, low opacity, whatever you can see through. I think it's high opacity, maybe it's low, but it keeps track of how many. I keep track of how many games I have played for the day, how many kills I have played for that day, how many solo games I have played, how many solo kills I have, as well as my all-time high for solo, my all-time solo high kill game, and then my daily high kill game. And I just hit 12, but my high is 15, but it's still chill. Take it for what it's. Okay, sorry, I gotta read chat, guys. I'm really bad. Let me catch up. Easy. Crazy B says, yo, what's up, Goody? Yeah, they would be OP if you couldn't. You know, LMA, he tried to shotgun it. Right. Oh, that was it. Never mind. I'm not even behind. I'm on point. Oh, I've got... It's 5:30. Class is at 6:30.
5:30.
We've wasted hours. Hours, my dude, just sitting here. So, wait, you said you're on vacation?
No, it's my day off for vacation next Sunday. Prepping for it.
I just heard we're prepper for our trip. Where are you going?
We're going to...
Your mic just keeps cutting out every time. We're going to... It's like it's a secret.
Married.
Getting married? Yeah, your mic is just cutting out hard, bro. I can't even hear you anymore. Hello?
Any better now?
A little bit, yeah. Why? What were you doing? Sitting on it?
No.
No? Okay, so you're getting married next Sunday?
And not next Sunday. We leave to go down there. We get married on the 19th.
Oh, that's dude, fucking awesome, man. Where you guys going for your wedding?
Disney.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're having a Disney wedding? Yo,
Yep.
that's dope, man. Have you ever been?
I've been one. I've been once. She's been like 6 times.
Okay.
She says I've never been because I went to downtown Disney, and she says that doesn't count.
So I just heard you're having a Disney wedding. That's amazing.
Sierra
Yes,
shows
we
up.
are.
I was like, oh, Disney wedding. I have to say that's super awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
like so good.
We're doing the whole ceremony down there, and then we're staying for a total of like 8 days.
Oh, that's so fun. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Goody, did you see what I said about you? I don't know if you saw it or not, because
Is it in your Discord?
No, it was I said that to Discord too, but just people follow you and stuff. But no, about I'm just like so proud of you for like what you're doing and being 30 and like going back to school and stuff like that. Like that's super awesome.
Where did you put that?
So, I put it in your
Oh, you just said proud of you, Goody? Okay, got you.
yeah. But that's I was like, I don't want to come across like sarcastic. Oh look, Ingrid's following you. Thank you, Ingrid. But
Yes, thank you, Ingrid.
yeah, well, I was talking to him in messages, but yeah, I was totally like, oh, I'm just proud of you. Do you know I never graduated, right? Like I never graduated from college. So everything I do like is like a million times harder because I have to like I took a bunch of classes and I did a bunch of stuff like outside of it, but I don't actually have like a completed degree.
Right.
But I don't know that I necessarily need one like with the way my brain works and stuff. So I don't know.
You find ways to make money, and I think you're happy doing what you're doing right now.
Oh my gosh.
So
yes.
I don't think you need it. I mean, that I'm one of those people where it's like I would have worked a dead end job, or I would have had to have got lucky. So I mean, I'm a smart guy,
Okay,
but
very smart.
I come off as an idiot. I guess I play very stupid.
I don't have stupid friends.
When I get to meet people, yeah, but I come off stupid because I ask a lot of questions, and some of them are very basic. Some of them you would think I should understand the answer to. I'm one of those people that's like, okay, I see the pattern on how we're getting that math solution, but can you explain the math behind it? Why does this equal this, which is what we're using? You know, can you explain how to do this? And some people just are like, no, I don't know, that's just how you do it. And I'm like, well, that's how you do it, but why does it work like that? And some people, get upset and they're like, what are you, stupid? I just gave you the answer. And I'm like, but that's the answer, but that's not how you got the answer. That's like how you get the answer, but that's not how you come up with the arithmetic. Actually understanding the math behind the magic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that always came really easy to me. I just kind of, math has always just been, I've been really lucky in that, and everything I do was born out of necessity. So like, I got pregnant in college, and
you just needed to get pregnant in college, right? That was necessity.
No, like I got pregnant in college, therefore I had to figure out, and I was a single mom, so I was like, well, I need to figure out a way.
That's life changing.
Yeah,
that will change who you are fundamentally, not just what you want to do with your time, but like it grows. Like honestly, I used to think if I had a kid, I would be just that much more driven.
Well, and I'm already a driven person, so it's like
Yeah.
in the way that, so I was like, okay, well, I got a kid and I'm driven, and so like I got to do something about this, and I want to make sure she doesn't have the same life that I'm living right now, and I don't want her to do what I'm doing and do all these stupid things, and so how can I change my life to make that? And so then I started opening businesses, and then it's just like all of a sudden, and I got, I did a lot of, I failed a lot, but then in the process, like I got lucky once, and I'm like, oh, this is actually working. And then I was like, oh, I can use this, and then I can do this. And then my husband's the same way. Like we're very like-minded, and so and I'm incredibly cheap. I'm just gonna say it. Like I'm so cheap. I hate spending money. Hate it. Like with a passion. So like I think that comes from being a single mom, because it's like you just like hoard everything. But like
The hoard gene.
it's true. Like
Okay.
you're just like I gotta feed my kids, so I can't spend any money. Like, and I wanted her to go, like, I wanted her to go to private schools. So here I am, like, I had Haley when I was 19, and here I am, like, I want my kid to go to private schools. Like, I don't want her to go in education. So I'm living in like the ghetto. I have no cable, no internet, no phone, and just so I can save enough money so that I can send her to private schools. And so that's what I did. And so I saved every penny I had, and I just kind of got in that, and then eventually, like, I was able to turn on a phone, and then I was able to get cable, which I don't have cable anymore because, like I said, I hate
You
that.
started with nothing and worked your
I
way to what
started
you have
with
now.
Nothing.
Right.
But it was born out of necessity. Having a child, like, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The motivation behind it, like if I had a kid, like I swear to, I would have stopped smoking weed way sooner had I had a kid. Most likely. Most likely.
Yeah, I mean, I tell Haley, I'm like, you saved my life. Like, I'd probably be dead now. Like,
Yeah.
probably be dead. Like, I did a lot of stupid crap. I told you a little bit about my life, and like I've done a lot of stupid stuff. And if it wasn't for her,
Like when you say stupid stuff, did you used to like break into like low income housing and like steal their TVs and like get away with basically murder?
I've done a lot of stupid stuff.
She's murdered people. You hear that? She's murdered people. I knew it. I knew it.
I've
She's
been,
criminal. She's criminal. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I've done a lot of stupid stuff. We're stopping there, but it was born out of necessity. Like I gotta straighten my life out. I'm gonna lose my kid. Like I have to have.
That's good. That's priorities kicked in. That mother. I don't know if I don't know if there's an actual like connection to being a mother, but when you find out you're pregnant, like I can only imagine what that does to your mind. It's like, did it hit you and then did you sink into it, or did you did it was like flipping a switch, or was like, oh my fucking god? No.
It didn't.
So explain it. Do you remember? It was a while ago.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. I mean, yes, I remember. So I was on drugs pretty bad, and I did stop doing drugs when I was pregnant with Haley, but I was offered heroin when I was pregnant, and I probably had not. If I hadn't been pregnant with her, I probably would have done.
So you knew. Good thing you knew you were pregnant, right? Okay.
Well, yeah, like I knew I was pregnant, so I didn't do it. I'm like, oh no, I can't. I even considered it, like being
Thought
pregnant.
about it?
Like I considered it. And I didn't do it. Obviously, Haley's awesome. But even after I had Haley,
Thanks, Mom, for not doing that hit of heroin. Incubating.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah,
Happy Mother's
so
Day.
So like all these people, like, well, there's the whole 4 people are listening to my story right now, but I don't mind. It's fine. I go around and I share my testimony with people so that they can see, like, I'm not awesome.
You
I'm
do
not
have a
perfect.
testimony too. Yeah.
I have a testimony. Like, I didn't get to where I am today because it was handed to me. Like, I worked my butt off to get here. And so what happened was I had Haley, and like I started doing drugs again. Like, at first I was like a great mom for like 3 months, and then I started doing drugs again. And so my parents were like, what the crap, you're doing drugs? And I started getting worse and worse and worse, and I was like, I just basically like handed Haley.
Do you know why you went? Do you know why you went back to drugs?
Why I went back?
Yeah, after you had the, like, I mean, was it just stress? Like, was it just?
Well, it was stress. Like, her biological father is a piece of crap.
Yo, Perky King, thanks for the follow, appreciate it.
Yeah, he was a piece of crap, and he like, I don't know, he got me back on drugs again. And
So you had bad influences in your life, and they
yeah,
just caught
yeah,
you.
I had
You
just
know,
got, and
as a new mom, like it's got to be stressful, and there's got to be weak points. I mean, you
yeah,
know,
like
like
and,
oh,
and,
I
and
just
I
want to
was
relax. I'm so sick of all, you know.
well, and I was 19.
Yeah,
I was
easily
freaking
impression
19
still at the
years
age,
old.
right?
And so like, and I'm here, I'm like trying to get my crap together, and then like these drugs, and so like, so just like cocaine was like my choice drug. Like I was like, oh man, I love me some coke, and I just
Cocaine,
you
right?
know, oh, it was because I'm a really hyper person in general anyway, and cocaine just made it even better. Like I was just like, yes. And so
Yo, giggles on cocaine. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
imagine that.
Oh
It was
gosh.
bad. And so like it just got worse and worse. And so of course, you know, then with cocaine you can't really like I couldn't afford it. I was a single mom, so I started doing other things. And then the next thing you know, like I've lost all this weight. I'm like a freaking toothpick. And I walked, and so I was living in like this squatter house with like 13 other people. My daughter was at my parents' house. They were like, Melinda, we're gonna go and we're gonna take your daughter from you. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I mean, I cared, but not really. And so I walked in front of a mirror and I jumped. This was my like aha moment. And so I walked in front of a mirror and I jumped because I thought somebody else was in the bathroom with me, but it was me in the mirror. And my face was so sunken in and I just looked terrible, you know, and it was just bad. And so at that moment I went home to my parents, who I didn't necessarily have the greatest relationship with. And I went home and I locked myself in a room for 3 months and I detoxed. And I didn't know how dangerous it was at the time, but it was pretty dangerous. But I was so freaking sick, and it was just really really bad. And so I did that, and I did it for my daughter, and I did it because like I was like, okay, so I have two choices, and like this isn't even like this is just the beginning of my testimony. So I was like, okay, I can either quit drugs and be a mom, or I can, you know, just deal with it. And so I quit drugs, and this took about 6 months. So I quit drugs. I left my daughter's biological father, who was just a terrible. We'd been together for 5 years, and a lot of bad stuff happened to me before him anyway. But I left him. I got off drugs, and I started going back to
Where
school
did
on
you grow
campus.
up? Big town, small town? Small town?
Medium. Dayton, Ohio is where I grew up.
Dayton, Ohio. Okay.
Yeah. So which, by the way, is like now like one of the biggest heroin problems in the United States. So like I grew up there. And so like had I not been pregnant with my daughter, like I can't even imagine. I tell Haley all the time, like you saved my life. But
Probably.
so I got off drugs, and so I've been married before my husband now. And so I got off drugs, and I met this guy in the process. And meeting this guy, like he was better than Haley's biological father. Like who was incredibly abusive and got me on drugs. Um, I'm like, oh well, he at least works. You know, he at least has a job. Like
That's all the criteria you need, right?
right. Like at that time, I was like, man, he works. This is awesome. That's all I need. You know, and he was a good dad to Haley, so at least I thought he was. And then all this bad stuff happened. To make a long story short, he started like putting coke in front of me again, and I was just like, oh, but I didn't fall back into that trap. I was just like, no, 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 and I quit doing drugs, and and then I met him, but then he hit me in front of Haley. And we'd been married for about a year, and he hit me in front of Haley, and I realized, here's my second aha moment, was, oh my gosh, like if I don't do something about my life, Haley is going to be in the exact same situation.
She's gonna think that that's okay, right?
That she's going to think that this is fine, that this is okay.
My mother went through it. I can go through it or something. I have no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's another half of my testimony that I will share with you sometime, but I am not doing it on stream. And so that happened, and then you know, my husband now, who is an amazing man, like he is phenomenal.
I mean, let's set the bar really low for him, and like expect that if he even met that bar, that he would be amazing. And I'm
Right.
assuming he's like so many beyond to be above that.
Well,
like,
let me just tell you, this just tells you how awesome it was. So when Lee, that was my ex-husband's name, when he hit me in front of Haley, like
I really don't like you even saying that.
yeah,
Like,
it's awful.
that is, yeah, that's a very,
Yeah.
it touches a chord.
But you know this is part of my story, and like this is how it is. And so when that happened, my husband now, who at the time we were just friends, he flew up to Ohio just to make sure I was okay. That's it. We were just friends, and he flew up there just to make sure I was okay.
He liked you. He had a crush on you.
probably.
That's why guys do stuff like that. Not
Yeah.
saying that I wouldn't. Hey, if I had a friend, if I had somebody that I grew up with or I knew for years, and she, I mean, it's possible, but usually it's because of there's some sort of underlying attraction. Or
Well, we
something.
had been okay. So here's the other thing: we had been gaming together. I met him on a video game.
Right,
Remember that?
right.
So like we had been gaming together, and he had actually come up there, and he knew my ex-husband and stuff, and like we had all met and stuff, but we had been gaming together since he was 14 and I was 17. So since before I even, my husband's a little bit younger than me, since before I even met Haley.
Wow.
Or
Okay.
met my last husband.
Okay.
But he flew up there, and we just like hung out and talked, and then the rest of my story happened, and then here I am in South Carolina with my husband, and he's amazing, and I absolutely adore him. And he works his butt off, and we're like exactly alike for the most part, except for he's incredibly shy and quiet. Hi, Horace, welcome back. And yeah, so that's it. I'm done. I'll tell you the rest of it some other time.
That's
But
crazy.
It's pretty cool. It gets even cooler.
Well, I'm very, I honestly understand. It hit me that you actually really have a story when you mentioned you were in like
You're
a
cutting
like
out. What'd you say?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't really believe that you had that much of a story until you've kind of like given me that. When you said you were in a squatter house with 13 people, that led me to actually have like a deeper understanding, like, because I understand what that's like. So
Yeah.
for you to actually come like that's almost the direction that my life could have gone.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get to that part, but I went another direction. It wasn't so much about self pleasure. I mean, entertainment value, absolutely, but like I went more of like a life of crime type of thing, like because I wasn't a female. I couldn't get things easily, and the only way I could basically it's just I wouldn't say that. I mean, a life of crime that could have potentially led to like just like a deeper. Like, I mean, what you're doing, I can only imagine what that would be like, waking up in a squatter house with 13 people, everybody looking to each other to find and support their habits, not to mention, just to be able to bring in food. Because you're like a little family, and it's like you're almost tight-knit, but it's the most corrupted, dark cesspool of shit you could ever possibly do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so glad. Like, okay, so I only know one of those people anymore. Like, he got his life on track, and like, so like he's just like a Facebook friend of mine, and so occasionally like I'm like, hey, you good? Yeah, you're good. I'm good. We're good. But that's as far as that goes, because that part of my life is over.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am so done with that. Like people now that. So I go in and I go to like these students and I tell them my story, because I don't want people to like live the same way. I don't want people to have to do
You want
this.
people to learn from your experiences, right?
I want them to. And so I go in and I talk to all of these students and I explain this, and I'm like, look, this is how it is. This is how life is, and it can get better, and you can change, and it is possible. But the way I am now, people are just like in awe, because they're just like, you, what? Is that even possible? Like, because I am such like a 180, 100% different person, like than I was 15
Do you feel
years
like
ago.
people judge you when you tell your story?
Sometimes, but that's okay, because like that's part of it. Like I'm okay that like okay, so I'm at the point now where I'm like, this is my story, and you can judge me and you can hate me, you can not like me, but it's all a part of who I am now, and like I'm I'm living the dream. Like I live the freaking dream. And the reason I am who I am today is because of how hard and all the struggles that I had to go through to get to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I see like the reverse side of this. Like I see the people that didn't, like my old friends and stuff like that. Like I see where they're at. Some of them are dead, and it's just like, ah, and this Tape Express guy says, thank you for sharing. I'm like, oh, people, but I don't mind. Like I go into groups of students and I'm like, this is how life is. Like this is life. And like people, you can fix this. Like you don't have to be this person, and I tell
The
them,
trick
like,
is when you look in the mirror and you see something that's wrong, think about how to fix
Right?
it, and those are the moments where you decide to make changes.
When I walked past that mirror, and I probably hadn't eaten in like 6 days.
That's great.
And I walked in and my face was sunken in and my eyes were like dark, and now you can't even tell that I had ever done drugs.
That's
Like you can't tell. Like I look still super young, like I'm blessed with good genes, and so like you can't even tell. So people look at me and they're like, oh, you never had anything wrong happen to you. And I'm so positive most of the time, you know, and they're just like, you never had anything wrong. And then I tell them my story and they're like, oh my gosh, really? Like, I had no idea, you know, but it is what it is. So yeah, anyway, sorry, I was going on my little rant there for a second.
Did you during this entire, like, how long would you say you spent doing those things that you shouldn't have been doing?
Doing drugs, 10 years. So from the time I was 15 to the time I was 25-ish, I did them. So from 21 to 25, I kind of went back and forth, right?
Gotcha.
Most like from 21 to 25, I probably just smoked pot, like smoked weed. Like that was it. Like, and then I quit doing that even. I used to smoke cigarettes too. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. Like,
When did you quit? How long did you smoke cigarettes for?
Until I was about 28.
So 15 to 28, 13 years. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Well, 14 to 28.
14. So yeah, sure, 14 years.
So I quit smoking about 28. Yeah, I think.
It's good.
Yeah. So I don't do any drugs now. I do drink a little bit, not all the time, but. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not paid to tell you my story, Tape, like at all. Like I don't mind telling people, like, but they're real. These are I lived that story. Like I've been told to write a book.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that a minute ago. I was like, should I tell her to write a book? She's got an interesting story. And then I started thinking, like, what kind of title would you give it? You know, if she were to run off with it.
I have no idea.
You know,
back again. Like the Hobbit.
Yeah,
you know?
right. You know, what I don't know, a druggie's tale or something. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't know if I want to be tied to something like that. But at the same time, you can't really hide from it because it's your past. It's who you were. But who you are now is so much different. It just goes to like, if anything, it's a success story more than a failure.
100 a success story. I am doing so much better than even 90% of the people that don't even have a story like mine. Yeah. You know, like I legitimately rose from the ashes. Like it was bad. Like I was bad. I was gonna die. You know, I was gonna die. I was doing too many drugs. I should not be alive right now. And here I am. I have successful businesses, I have a successful marriage, I have an amazing kid, you know, and I mean, not that my life is all sunshine and roses all the time, because it absolutely isn't, and you goody know how much I work, but like, yeah, so that's my story. Who's this Tape guy, by the way? Is he just coming into stream now? Like, oh my gosh, who's this girl?
I know. I've played with him before. Yeah, he's a D1 player, I think.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. I'm glad you shared that. I mean, that's just more insight into you, and you know, I love your motivation, your energy that you have to deliver that to in the way that you do. It just it's so positive and uplifting. I mean, like, it just goes to show, like, you can be in some of the darkest places in the world. Some people can't even fathom what it's like to come through that. They wake up and their parents yell at them and they think they have the worst life ever. You know what I mean? Or like they've got the most important decisions on their plate, right. But you know, sometimes, you know, when you hear something like that, it kind of it broadens the world for you, but it shrinks who you are. You know, and so I thank you for sharing that. Absolutely.
I do want to say this, like, I can't take the credit for that, like, and this is kind of inappropriate.
For what do you mean?
But like, all the glory goes to God, because like that, if
God,
it wasn't for that,
God,
like,
yes,
I could not have done what I did.
Bless,
so all the glory goes to
bless. God. Thank you, Jesus. Right?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Like there's just no way other than like having come through this. Like there's no other way that I could have come through this. Like, I mean, like sitting in a rave, right? I got drugged in a rave, and like I was sitting there, and like these guys, like I had friends like just come and swoop in on me and save me, like at the very last minute. Like it was 100% God. Like there were things that like happened to me that like the only way I've been even protected in the slightest was for that. So yeah, that is 100% all the glory to the Lord. So yeah, with that being said, I actually need to head out to our gaming store because we're building right now, and I need to go check in on these contractors. But yeah, so
fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, all right, Sierra. Well, you go have fun doing your video game store thing. I'm sitting here and mull over half the stuff you said and just contemplate.
You guys mull over my story. I'll tell you more goodies sometime, but we can't do it on stream.
Dude, no, definitely. Like, you should write it. Honestly, I wish you'd put something on paper.
I've thought about it. I've taken a lot of notes. My husband's like,
I mean, when you find time to finally do it. Yeah, I mean, do it.
Time. That's the fun part. part. Yeah,
No.
like.
Well,
Never
you'll get
mind.
there
All
eventually.
right.
We'll focus on what's ahead right now, and we'll see you later. All
Yeah,
right.
I got to head to the gaming store though. My husband's probably like, "Where is she?" So, all right, I'll
You
talk to you guys later.
just tell her you're enlightening some needy
Yeah.
and but a group of needy individuals. The entertainment value, blah blah blah. But realistically, that was great. Thank you.
Yep. All right, I'll
Yeah,
talk to you
that
guys
was
later.
We'll see you.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. Jeez, man.
Yeah, I just sat silent the entire time because I was just so ingrained. Sorry.
Driving hard. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just trying to imagine some of the things that she's saying. Like, I know some people can't, which
Yeah,
is
I
a
can't
testament.
know. I mean, I never.
You never did drugs. You never knew anybody that sucked dick for meth.
I mean, I've got.
You used to
without
suck dick
saying
for
too
meth?
much,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Without saying too much, I've got some family members that have been down that path.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, their stories. I mean, if you've heard their
they're
stories,
around, so
right?
I mean, but myself personally, I don't have experience with anything like that.
You ever sucked dick for meth? No.
I was pretty much a straight arrow of a kid.
That's
so-
good though. That's good, man. You managed to walk. You did what you needed to do. You had fun. I mean, you had your opportunity when you were out doing your tours with music to meet
Yeah.
some horrible fucking people in the music industry. Because let's be real, sex, drugs, and music
Oh,
is
dude, it was a
essentially,
big thing. It's like
yeah.
fucking rock and roll.
I mean, it's
You were in the probably the worst I ever had to deal with was you learned just how backhanded the industry is, and that people will screw you over for $2 But I mean, compared to what some people have been through, I have no complaints.
yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, it sucks. Like when I hear stories. Some things I can understand. I don't know what it's like to have a kid growing inside of me and feel. And that's why I was really interested in what she was saying. Because I couldn't imagine. Like, I can imagine, I understand, like, you have an idea, but I don't have an idea. Because
Right.
I've never had that. And to have the feeling, I mean, it sounds like she went through some hard times, but she finally got her shit together, is what her family's talking about. And I think my family's probably thinks similarly about me. Because I grew up pretty good. I was baptized Catholic. I was an altar boy. I met we moved right before my high school year. We moved into a neighborhood where I made friends with just the wrong kids, and they started making bad decisions. And I didn't have enough sense to say no or to not want to do that. I was looking more to have fun and entertainment. And when you're young, you don't have money. You don't have money for shit.
No.
So we ended up first it's lying about money, and then it's about once you get through and you can't lie anymore, you steal it, and it doesn't matter who it's from, or it's you get a job and then you steal from your job if you don't have enough, or stuff. I mean, you go from there to I mean, I've made bad decisions in my life, and I'm not proud of them at all. I've had
So
moments.
have I.
I've tried drugs. I've tried ecstasy. I've tried acid. I've tried shrooms. I've tried marijuana. I've tried cocaine.
I never
I've
got into anything heavier than weed, but
yeah.
even just a few years ago, there was times that's all I would do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on who you know. I mean, I can schedule what I've done. I can say what I've done. I can say who I've done it with. I could say I've done this various amounts, on a daily average. This is what I used to do to get it. This is what I used to do when I sold it. This is the type of people that I dealt with. People that would pay. This is I used to rob drug dealers. I'd break into people's houses and steal their pounds of marijuana or whatever the fuck they had just to get it because they had it. It was an easy way. And 15 minutes in somebody's house, you steal $15,000 of illegal substances, and they can't call the police.
No, what are they gonna do? Like, they stole my illegal shit.
They stole my scales and my $5,000 that I got from selling drugs. I'm not gonna say that I actually used to do that shit, because let's be real, I can't say that I actually used to do shit like that, because no, I never did shit like that. That never really happened to me. Shh. Never did I make a bad decision in my life. No, I was a perfect kid, straight A's, 4.0. I'm going to college in my 30s because that's who I am. No, but seriously, I've made bad decisions, and when you get involved with the wrong people, you make it's just easy to be influenced, man. And I was a dumb kid that got easily influenced because I was looking for entertainment, and I didn't think about the repercussions. Dude, I had a thought the other day. Okay, right? So listen to this. One of my buddies picked up me and a buddy back when I was like, I just got out of juvie when I was like 16. And I get home, and I get on my bike, and I start biking around the neighborhood because I didn't have a car, and I'm looking for somebody, and I'm like, shit, I haven't smoked weed in like 3 weeks. You know, they had me locked up in juvie for 3 weeks for, what, truancy or something, for skipping school. I don't give a shit. I get out and I run into this kid. And this kid's like, yo, man, let's go ditch your bike. Let's smoke up, man. You want to go? You just got out? That's cool. Let's go. Let's talk. So we kicked it. And then like 2 weeks later, one of the buddies from school that I knew that I didn't really know, but he was dealing. He like rolled up. He's like, yo, man, we're going to go deliver papers some morning, and we're going to smoke and shit. And so we do this. We're like, okay, cool. So the next morning we wake up early. We go at like 3 in the morning. We're just rolling around blowing blunts. You know, if the cops are going to pull us over, you know, we're doing our job. You know, and he had hella like spray, which was stupid. I mean, you're driving around at 3 in the morning. I don't remember why, but he was in his dad's Denali, right? And so we're driving around the neighborhoods, and we finish delivering papers. It's like 7 in the morning. We get out. One of my buddies was like, yo, man, why don't you just give me some shit? You know, and he's trying to get shit from this kid. And this guy's like, nah, man, I'm not going to give you some shit. You got to pay me for it, blah, blah, blah. My buddy just gets out, and he starts whipping rocks at his car. And he's at his house with his parents. And this kid comes over, and, like, it's crazy because, like, I was 16. These guys were, like, 17. And this was like the start of just some of the stupid shit that I witnessed. But like, this kid's driving his dad's Denali. We were smoking up in it the whole time. One of my buddies wanted a free stack. He wouldn't give it to him. And so he's so childish, he started whipping rocks at his dad's Denali. And a Denali's like a $50,000 vehicle back at the time, something like that, fully loaded, you know, nice. Oh, yeah. And the kid's like, yo, fuck that, dude, you can't do that. He's like, he's like, man, you're gonna give me money for that. And he's like, fuck you, I'm not giving you shit. And so he like tackles him in the bush, and then he starts knocking on the front door. He's trying to wake up his parents. Like, yo, come out here. And I mean, this sounds so stupid. It's not even that bad. But like, this was one of those moments where like I made a decision where like I didn't really think about it, but if I could go back in time I would. Dude's dad came out and was like, what's going on? And kid looked at me, he's like, yeah, he threw a rock at my car and he saw it. Now he's like, he threw a rock at his car and you saw it? And I was like, nah, I don't know, I didn't see it, I don't know. You know, and that's what I said. But a part of me feels like if I could go back, I would have told that kid that threw that rock at that dude's shit. I would have been like, yeah, he threw the rock. I'm not going to testify, but you're a fucking idiot for throwing rocks at his shit when he's been driving you around all fucking morning, you know, like wasting his gas. He brought you, you know, you went to hang out with him. He didn't give, you know, it's like a part of me just thinks like that moment I should have been like, you know what, dude, rules are rules. Expectations are, if I see my kids, if my kids witness, I don't have kids yet, but God forbid that if I have kids and they see something that shouldn't be happening, like, you know, people take like denting, I mean, let's say you see somebody slip money out of the register, you know, and put it in their pocket, and they say, shh, don't tell anybody. And then like the manager comes over and asks you about it. Are you gonna say something?
Oh hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah. See, that's the fucking mentality I never fucking had. Oh hell yeah. I'd have been like, probably not, but then I also would have been like, yo, I'm gonna need some of that money too. You know, I would have been like, yo, what do you mean? Let me get some cash out of that drawer too. You know, whatever. You know, but a part of me thinks like that's not the mentality to have. The mentality would be like, no, dude, you fucking threw a rock at his car. You can't do that. That's not okay. If I would have done that, I have changed his life? Would his dad have been like, you little fucking shit? Would have he grabbed him by the scruff of his neck and then like beat him or something? I don't know. But if I would have made that decision when I was like this, it's one of those moments where this could have led to this guy behaving a little bit better, which would have led to me behaving, or maybe we wouldn't have been friends after that. And you know what? I wouldn't have made as many bad decisions with that person that led me to make many more bad decisions with many other people. You know. It's crazy. It's crazy how like I'm starting now to realize those moments that I didn't think about it as when I was young like that. I didn't have the influence in my life to help me like decide what's right or wrong, or to make a decision about somebody stealing or throwing rocks. You know, it's just something as simple as my buddy was mad at a buddy and he threw a rock at his car, and he told his parents, and his parents looked at me and was like, did he throw the rock? And I, you know, instead of me saying, yeah, he did, you fucking idiot, you know, I said no. You know, and that led to a lot, you know, it led to I don't know. I guess at that point, that like, it's when you do things for friends and you play favorites that gets you in trouble, because you know what, I chose that guy as my friend over the other kid as my friend. You know, I played favorites with him and I saved his ass when I should have just been neutral and been like, yeah, he did. But then I could have easily been like, but it's because he wouldn't give him a bag of weed, you know? And then, but like, you know, I mean, who the fuck in the right mind would do that, first off? You don't do that to your drug dealer. You know, it doesn't matter how old or young or stupid you think they are. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. My shit doesn't, I've been to jail a couple times. You know, I went to juvie as a kid. I made mistakes. I got put on truancy. I skipped school. I used to skip class to go smoke weed. You know, like hella hard. Hella hard. That was my shit, dude. Like, one day my buddy was like, yo, man, you want to smoke some weed? I was like, nah, man, I'm good. You know, when I was like 14, I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need that shit. When I was 15, one of my buddies was like, he was smoking weed with his mom in front of me when I spent the night. And I didn't even, you know, I didn't want to smoke any fucking weed. But apparently he had found out from like his mom or his dad or something, like they were divorced, but they smoked weed. And I guess they thought it was okay. And so I just out of nowhere, like my buddy I'd been hanging out with for like 2 years or a year and a half, like just was like, yeah, we're gonna smoke some weed. And I'm like, what? No, I don't want, I'm good. But his mom came down and she started smoking too. And I'm like, is it cool? It's cool to smoke weed? It's not like cool, but it's like, it's okay. It's not bad. Right. You know, like if as a parent, like you want your kid smoking, you're gonna smoke with your kid. You know, and through the years I've met people that are like, yo, I'm gonna do meth with my baby. Me and my kids are gonna get high off meth together. It's gonna be the greatest thing ever. And you know, when you meet people like that, that's you're deep into a problem. But I'm sure Sierra can relate. I'm sure she knew people that probably had kids that were like, you know, she probably knows 10-year-olds that got high off the shit, tweaked out. I don't know. That's crazy. I have no idea. But you know, like my buddy's mom was smoking weed, and I was like, nah, man, I'm good. I didn't do it that night. I didn't want to. I was like, no, I'm good. You know, I was like scared of it even. I was scared. I didn't want to do it. And then within like 4 months, another kid that rode my bus in my neighborhood was like, hey man, you wanna come hang out for a little bit? And then he's like, yeah man, I got some chronic. I'm like, what the fuck's chronic? And we start talking, and he's like, yeah, we should get high or something sometime. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't even remember. And then like 2 weeks later, he's like, yo man, he's like, I got some money, man. I'm trying to go to Subway. You want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we went to Subway. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go over to this other kid's house and we're gonna go smoke. He's like, I'm gonna smoke. And like when we got there, I wasn't even planning on doing it, but then I was like, you know, fuck it. Yeah, I'll try it. And before you know it, I'm fucking blazed out of my mind. I'm so high, I can't even get my leg over the seat of my bike to get on it because I'm so far. I'm like, I can't physically do it. I'm just so out of whack. Like that just hits your system like ridiculously hard. And it was, man, it was weird, man. And from there, like, we started meeting up and hanging out every day, and we're doing it after school, and all of a sudden we're starting to do it in between classes. You know what I mean? And then we're like skipping classes to go do it, and then we're coming back, and then before you know it, you're no longer skipping classes, you're skipping half days, and then you know, you're no longer just skipping classes and pep rallies, you're skipping half days, and then you're taking whole days, you know, to just go fucking get high, try and figure out how to get a bag, and then you start, when you're skipping school and you're meeting up with other kids that are skipping school from other schools, that's when you've made a network connection of people who make bad decisions. Not only are you just hanging out with people that make bad decisions, you're thoroughly connecting yourself with other people who also make very bad decisions. And before you know it, you make connections with a lot of people that just, and you start to think, you know, this is the way it is. You know, kids just, you know, like they don't fucking have to do shit. You know what I mean? These kids, whatever, like, I don't know. I was just like, yeah, man, like, I mean, everybody fucking skips school. There was a point in my life where I thought everybody and their mom smoked weed. Because everybody I knew smoked weed, and everybody's mom smoked weed, or everybody's grandma smoked weed, or something. You know what I mean? It was crazy. I mean, your world is as big as you are. And you are who you know, and who, you know, and it's you're not necessarily who you know, but your world's as big as who you know. And if all the people in your world that you meet do drugs, and all those people you meet that they meet probably do drugs too. And essentially I developed this huge network of individuals that were like constantly getting high or looking to get high or looking to like find a way to get money to get high. And you know, like it just depends on where do you cut it off? At what point do you say, you know, I don't want to hang out with that kid because he smokes too much weed, when all you're trying to do is smoke weed? So you know, I didn't have a filter, man. I didn't have a filter, and I went from being an altar boy to hanging out with the kids that were like, yo man, you ever use a gun before? You know, because we gotta figure out how to scare this kid into giving us his fucking money, but we don't want to actually shoot him. You know what I mean? So we just wanna, like, you go from selling fake bags to like bags to no bag at all, to instead of like just trying to run away with what they give you, trying to take what they have. You know, no. You know, there's a point where like you hand somebody a bag and they give you cash and you just walk away, and then they open it up and they're like, oh shit, this shit's fake. Like, what the fuck? And they turn around and they try to get you and you're off running. You know, you're sprinting. And then there's moments where it's like they give you money, you give them a bag, and then you pull out a knife or a gun and you say, now give me everything else that you fucking have as well. And then inside that little wrapped up bag that you gave them is a handwritten thank you note. I should be in jail for a lot of the shit that I've never done, because I've never done any of that. That's not me. I never did any of that shit. I know people that did that shit. I never did it. I used to have buddies that would run inside of houses. They break into your house in the middle of the night. Doesn't matter where you live. You could live in a $500,000 house. You break in your house and make a sandwich in your kitchen. Steal your tablet or your phone, your laptop, make a sandwich. You just straight up make a sandwich in your kitchen while you're sleeping. Take some stuff, go through your shit. Do you know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night in your house and hear somebody downstairs that you know isn't somebody that lives there? Do you know how much balls it takes for a person to actually present themselves to that person that already broke into their crib? The mentality it takes. Do you understand? If I walked down my stairs and I saw this guy in my kitchen making a fucking sandwich, I would go right back upstairs and call the police, because he's 6'6". And he don't give a fuck. He's not little. And obviously he doesn't give a fuck. He's in your house making a sandwich. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I knew people that made bad decisions, and the more people you know that make bad decisions, the easier it is for you to make the same bad decisions, you know? And I mean, I'm not perfect. I haven't lived my life to the best, but you know what, dude? I changed my path early on. I've had a lot of great things that happened to me. You know, it wasn't until she didn't change her life till she was 25. I started making better decisions when I was 21. When I was 21, you know, I got out of jail when I was 19 or 20. I did like a 6-month sentence. They let me out early for good behavior. I didn't break anything, so I did, what is it, like 60% of the sentence or something like that. And I got out, and I got a job. I met up with one of my high school buddies that smoked a bunch of weed or whatever, and like, actually my buddy's sister housed me for a couple months, and I don't know what happened there. Just one day she was just like, I don't want you living with me anymore, which I believe it had something to do with the fact that the kids down the street were starting to, we had a good relationship up until one day we didn't have a good relationship, and I don't know, I ran out of the house with a baseball bat and chased some kid down the street, and she didn't like that. But that's just because they followed me to the house, and they were trying to fuck with me, and I wasn't gonna have it. And I mean, at 19, you're a young kid, dude. 19, you're a young kid. 18, you're a young kid. 17, you're a young kid. You're a young kid up until you're like 24, 25, and you start to actually get some world sense. You know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck shit is. I mean, you can be the dumbest kid in the world, but you're still a kid. You know what I mean? But like, I look at myself like I was just a dumb kid and I just didn't know how to. I still to this day don't know how I would have handled some of the situations I was in, just because like maybe like. Can you imagine taking the long way home? Like, ever having to take the long way home? Like, did you ever walk home from school or anything like that?
I mean, I did, but you also have to keep in mind I grew up in a tiny little farm town where everybody knew everybody.
So you used to take the long way home sometimes?
Yeah.
Why'd you take the long way home?
Sometimes I just wanted some time to myself.
Got you. See, these kids, like, I don't know, just out of nowhere, man. There was a gang. They called themselves like the Asian Bloods of the neighborhood or the territory, and there were like 17 of them that all lived in the same neighborhood, and they all like to smoke weed together. And like I remember the first time I ran into these kids, my buddy had talked shit to the wrong one of them, and they were like, he's like, yeah, we're gonna fight. Like they scheduled a fight and everything behind the gas station, PDQ back at the time, and I didn't know what the fuck it was at. Apparently, one of them looked at his girlfriend and he didn't like the way, and he just moved out. He just moved in from like Texas like 8 months before that. We met him over the summer and he was chill. He's cool. He's a cool kid, and whatever. And sure enough, he made a lot of friends really quickly. He was actually kind of popular for as quickly as he came into the scene. But he picked a fight with Tony Tran, and Tony Tran's family was affiliated with some of the bigger drug dealers in the territory, and some of their family members were rolling in really nice Mercedes, and most of it was like just drug money that they were washing through the casinos. And sure enough, we didn't know, but apparently a lot of them had kids, and those kids were all cousins, and all those little kid cousins were calling themselves gang members, and they were jumping people into the clan, and they were beating them up. I remember the first time, these kids are in high school too, by the way. These kids are like juniors, sophomores, and freshmen and seniors in high school. And I think about it, and I'm like, yo, these kids, like, this is the start of some stupid shit. This is how kids become bad, or at least smart suburban night kids become bad. They, my buddy said something to this Tony kid, and sure enough, he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna fuck you up. He's like, nah, man, I'm gonna fuck you up. And he's like, well, let's do it. They were smart enough to think, let's do it outside of school. So they did it out by the gas station at 4. And so my buddy tells all of his buddies about it, and so we're all up there, and we're just there to watch the fight. We're thinking, oh, it's about to be a good fight. We heard about Mr. Tran, him and his Vietnamese clique. And sure enough, fucking, they don't show up immediately. But we know they're around because they show up, but they're just driving around. And it's just one car, tinted windows. It was like an Integra. Like I forget, what kind of car. Dude, I'm telling my story. My class is in 20 minutes. I got to wrap it up. They're driving around the neighborhood, and we can see them, and we're just kind of watching, and more people keep showing up from the neighborhood or whatever, and it's all chill. It's like, all I ever do was to walk home, right? Well, walking, we all walk places. But do you ever take the long way home because you want to avoid people that may or may not give you trouble? Have you ever gotten into a fight with somebody and then know that they live right fucking there, and then just keep walking past their house every day? It's hard to do because you run the chance of running into another confrontation, whether you won the fight or not. And even if you won the fight, you know that they're out looking for revenge, depending on who they are, or if they're going to show up with their buddies, or the buddy's going to fight for them. One of those kids got slapped up really bad one day. And yeah, but anyways, they're driving around, and finally, like 15 minutes, my buddy's out there. He's like taunting them. He's like, you fucking pussies, blah, blah, blah. You ain't doing shit. Get the fuck out of here. He even threw a fucking rock. Well, they drove by, like, high speed back way. They, like, split a group of the kids that were sitting there. Like, almost hit a kid, which it would have been funny as hell if they would have hit somebody, because if they would have hit somebody, it would have been over. The police would have been called, and that kid, all of them would have been crying, like, I'm sorry, officer, I don't want to go to jail, I didn't mean to hit the kid with my car. You know what I mean? Because you can imagine he might have ran, but at some point he would have got caught, because we all know who the fuck he was. We all have been like, oh yeah, that kid. It's not like we felt like we were scared for our lives. Otherwise, why would our buddy be fucking with him? Well, sure enough, they miss a kid, and they slam on the brakes, and like eight fucking Asian kids get out of the fucking car. Eight little fucking Vietnamese kids get out of the car, and they all have like what I thought were like mini baseball bats. No, they were like Bacardi bottles, like Smirnoff ice bottles, like bottles they picked up. Actually, one of the kids I recognized, he was one of my buddies from middle school that I hadn't seen in years. I didn't recognize it until later. But they got out with these bottles, and they ran up, and one of them actually had like a half full Snapple bottle, and he fucking whipped it, and he hit my boy Ace right in the face, and kind of like knocked him out, and then the rest of them just kind of like stood around him and beat him with these Smirnoff ice bottles. And there's just a bunch of us just kind of like, we're out here to watch a 1v1 fight, and this kid just gets gang jumped, and nobody does a thing. Nobody lifted a fucking finger to help this guy. But I mean, let's be real. It just depends on who you know, how well you, how good of friends you were with them. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really expected that to happen. But then again, you know, a lot of kids are pussy. Everybody waits for somebody to do something. Nobody does anything. But yeah, this kid got beat up with fucking, you know, bottles. And this is just like, this is these kids at like 16, you know, 17. And they started a little gang and shit. And they started jumping people in. I don't know. That's like right after I got out of jail and shit. And then that's right, but like, that's a story of like high school to like skip to head to like the same family I was having issues with after I got out of jail. And I was just trying to like, I don't even know. I was just trying to figure out what the fuck to do with my life because, you know, I didn't have, my mother had a restraining order on me for like 17 years. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's a lot of this. It's not, none of it, it's all fake. It's all fake. None of it's real. None of it's fucking real. Oh man. Life's hard, man. It just depends on who you know, what you know, why you do things. And do you learn from your mistakes? And yeah, I've learned from a lot of my mistakes. I know people that have died because they overdosed on heroin. I know kids that have been killed and shot, you know, just for what, saying the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. You know, I got buddies that have been shot at, you know, ridiculous amounts of times and have bullet wounds and shit and scars, and they, you know, they shouldn't be walking. They shouldn't be living. My ass, I'm lucky as hell. I didn't fucking, I'm not dead, but, you know, I mean, I guess I was smart enough to get away with what I got away with. And you know, once you, it's like if you go to the casino and you win a bunch of money, you're supposed to leave and never go back. Because if you go back, eventually they're gonna get you. It's the odds, and that's, you know, some people, all they do is live their life living a life of crime, playing the odds. Like eventually they're probably gonna catch you. The more you keep committing crimes, the more attention you get, the more likely you're gonna have somebody watch you, the more likely they're gonna catch you making a mistake. You know, it's just like in the movies, they catch those prime, you know, drug lords or whatever, or individual. I don't know. It's crazy. It's nuts. But like, you know, I risked a lot. I got away with a lot. But you know what, man? I think karma's legit sometimes, because I feel like karma's came back around to bite me in the ass in some way, shape, or form. But at the same time, like the fact that I'm alive, I'm still breathing. I've managed to get to where I am in life. Like I feel blessed, absolutely, by God. Like it doesn't get any better than knowing that you could be that guy that's dead, or the other guy, or the other guy. You know, or you could be that guy that's still doing the same shit. You know, you could, you know, it's just, it's crazy to think about it. Yeah, dude, man, that's just like, it's a blip in your past, but you know, you can't shy from it. But at the same time, like, I'm embarrassed by it, man. I am embarrassed. Like, I can tell you guys, but would I tell my family? Yeah, I'd probably tell my family. Would I want my fiance's family to know? Probably not. You know, would I want my grandpa to know? Probably not. But at the same time, you know, like, it is a testament to success. Because look at me, I'm getting ready to graduate. I've completed all the credits. I basically have a degree right now. I just don't have a degree because I haven't done my internship. That's the only thing holding me back. But essentially, you know, I'm made, you know, 21, 22. I got mugged when I was 22 because I made some more bad choices and was hanging out with not necessarily the greatest people. Put myself in an environment that just was not hospitable. I got mugged. I got robbed. You know, fucking mild concussion. Nothing. It wasn't too bad, but I'd never been mugged before, and that shit'll scar your life too, and that'll make you fucking think weird things about people that you're with. But I don't know. Yeah, life's not perfect. We all live it one day at a time. I mean, it's good. It's better to make good decisions. Don't associate with people that are bad. Think about people you want to be like. But like, you know, think about what success is to you, and think about who you know that's successful, and then just spend time with that person being successful. You know, try to make friends with people who are in a position that you want to be in. You know, people above your station. If you keep hanging out with people that are below you, or talk to, you know, I mean, that aren't doing the things that you think should be done. You know, I think it's good to come up with a plan, man, and motivate yourself and try to see progress. I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it lately, but realistically, it's not easy. It's not easy trying to make new friends and trying to erase your past, you know? You can't erase your past. You have to embrace it, but you got to use it to make smart decisions, like don't smoke crack. Remember, that one kid got syphilis and died from a sexually transmitted disease because he smoked crack one time. and slept with the hooker. Yes, he did. The hooker's name was Stanton. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey now, hey now.
Hey now.
Just like you left your past behind, I left mine behind, good sir.
You don't do music anymore?
I still do music. I'm just not a hooker no more.
You don't hook it. He don't hook it. Yeah, yeah. Like, I like to tell people, like, I've never been in jail. Have I ever? I don't know. I like to tell people I'm Korean, too. That's a thing. Nobody knows. Shh, shh. It might be true. All right, man. Well, dude, yo, fucking Beer Me, dude. I fucking love the name Beer Me. I don't know why. When I saw that, Beer Me HD. Like, that's a good name. It's a good stream name.
I like it.
Could have been Beer Me TV.
Better at the fucking game, but you know.
Could have been Beer Me TV. You know, that's, you know, but with time, with practice, that you get there. You know, people like Dr. Disrespectful aren't very good. There's no way that guy was very good at video games. I still watch him. I don't even really watch him, but from what I've seen, he's not very good. From what I've seen, he's not very good. He's okay. He's slightly above average, but if you play video games as much as he does, you should be slightly above average too. And, you know, a lot of it comes from his enthusiasm and his persona and, you know, just coming up with a character and just finding ways to keep people hooked and, you know, entertain yourself while you do it. You know, it is what it is. One of my buddies went to go rob these guys that he had met that he thought they were trying to buy some ecstasy, and he thought he was gonna go rob them. And they get to the place where they're gonna do the deal, and the guy he was just gonna try and like just take this shit and run. These guys were trying to jack him. They were actually trying to jack him, and they pulled out a gun. And he didn't think it was real. He's like, nah, man, it's a fake gun. He's like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, I'm not giving you guys shit. And he actually had like a metal pipe with him or something. And he ended up cracking the kid in the face. And the kid shot him in the chest twice. And then they took off running. And yeah, he didn't make it. My buddy didn't make it. Life's short, man. You know, don't spend it making bad decisions. Go to school, get an education. Make the money that you want to make. You know what I'm saying? Think about the future. That's the thing most kids don't think about. You get lost living in the moment. How do I get what I want now? Well, you know, sometimes there's easy ways, sometimes there's hard ways. Most of it's, you know, it's just do the education. I don't know, education's huge, man. If it wasn't for that, I feel like I'd just be working temp agencies. I don't know. I probably would have got a job somewhere where I could be, you know, management level. But let's be real. Like, the time it takes to go through all that shit, and most of the positions that I've worked in, people don't recognize you. You know, I mean, you don't have to have an education to get. I mean, it just depends, man. It just depends. Some jobs don't. You're just a number. Some jobs they recognize when you're working hard. You know, and you're taking time and you're doing things right, and you know, and you try. I don't know. Some people just don't give a shit, and you know, when you work for Walmart or something like that, I don't think there's a lot of job satisfaction in there. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I work for Sam's Club. That's the upper scale Walmart. Pff, the fuck it is. That's the same shitty place. It's just a different layout. But all right, man, I gotta go to class. Class is in like 8 minutes, so.
All right, dude.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, have a good class.
Yeah, you too, man. We'll do some of that shit later. What is it called? The Darwin Project. I'll be back on. I don't know. I gotta go over my school schedule here when I get back, but I'm thinking I'll be on probably. Actually, I got a buddy that wants to play Fortnite. He said he's gonna be on at like 6, right. So I'll be back by like 8. If you'll be on, maybe do some Darwin. If not, we'll do some Fortnite. Callie's pretty good. He plays from PlayStation, but
yeah, I played with Callie.
Yeah, he's chill. I like that guy. All right, man. Well, I'll see you later.